Previously on the Vampire Diaries, Jeremy discovered he could see the ghosts of his ex-girlfriends. Meanwhile, Catherine stole Elena's necklace and teamed up with Damon. Klaus brought Stefan back to Mystic Falls to uncover what he was hiding. When Klaus discovers that Elena is still alive, a deadly twist occurs during senior prank night. Klaus plans to use Elena's blood to bring the Ripper back. Stefan's eyes darken with black veins, and when he looks at Elena, it's as if he's eyeing prey cold, merciless. With a sinister smile, Tyler is in the final stage of his transformation. All he needs is to drink human blood to become a hybrid.
Call it a hunch. Elena's blood. Drink it.
Tyler drinks Elena's blood, and after a painful transformation, he successfully becomes a hybrid. Klaus won his gamble. He didn't have Stefan kill Elena but instead had her sent to the hospital for blood collection. It turns out that the one who sealed Klaus's werewolf lineage was that witch ancestor. So whatever she says, Klaus must do the opposite. Elena's blood is the key to creating hybrids. Looking back now, Klaus deeply realizes how vicious that witch ancestor was.
Doppelganger had to die in order for me to become a hybrid, but if she was dead,
then you couldn't use her blood to sire yourself a new species.
Leaving me alone for all time.
Is that what this is about?
Rebecca's question hit Klaus's sore spot. Is Klaus so obsessed with creating hybrids just because he doesn't want to be alone? One moment, Klaus is full of ambition. The next, his eyes are wet with tears. He's clearly a villain, yet he always seems so pitiful. Klaus, who was in a low mood, told his sister to leave, but he never expected someone to come and provoke him without knowing what they were doing. It's Damon. With a face like ice, Damon heads straight for the hospital, not even putting Klaus in his eyes. But Klaus won't let him get away with that. However, when Damon utters a name, Klaus's mouth drops open, his face full of fear.
What do you know about Michael?
Just that he knows you're here.
At the mention of this name, Klaus disappears on the spot. It takes Damon a while to come to his senses who is Michael, that he can make Klaus lose his composure like that. Afterward, Damon goes to the hospital and carries Elena away. After Tyler transforms into a hybrid, he feels like a new man. He won't fear the sunlight like vampires, nor will he endure the agony of a werewolf's transformation. Having survived a near-death experience, Matt finds that he can now constantly see his sister's ghost. The events of the day leave Elena shaken. She's heartbroken over Stefan's change and realizes she's becoming increasingly dependent on Damon.
Where were you, Damon?
I shouldn't have left. I promise you, I will never leave you again.
Just as they share a tender moment, a teasing voice comes from behind them. Judging by the mannerisms, it's clear this is Ripper Stefan. It turns out Klaus fled during the night, but he left Stefan behind to protect Elena.
From now on, you are under my protection. By all means.
Stefan has turned off his humanity. He won't suffer endlessly from the pain and struggle of love anymore, but this makes him even more pitiful, as he will watch Elena fall into his brother's arms. On the other side, Catherine and Jeremy discover Michael, who has imprisoned himself in the ruins of an old church. Who exactly is this man that even Klaus fears so much? Since turning into the Ripper vampire, Stefan has completely lost himself. He openly kidnaps girls to drink their blood, indulging in his vices, much to Damon's disdain. Just then, Rebecca storms in, cursing and swearing. Klaus fled in the middle of the night, leaving Rebecca behind, so she decided to stick with the Salvatore brothers. By the way, with Elena's resurrection, this mansion has become unclaimed, so vampires no longer need an invitation to enter. Rebecca is an original, and the Salvatore brothers really can't do anything about her. Damon just hopes Catherine can wake up the ultimate vampire hunter, Michael, as soon as possible. At this moment, Catherine is holding a rat, trying to use it to tempt Michael to wake up. Damon asks Catherine about her progress, and Catherine's tone reveals her exhaustion since Michael remains in a state of slumber. Catherine then notices a man who has come to pay his respects, hoping this meal will finally wake Michael. Meanwhile, to better protect herself, Elena has Alaric teach her some self-defense techniques. Because Elena lacks explosive strength, the results aren't ideal, so Alaric teaches her how to use a vervain grenade. For vampires, this is a lethal weapon. Elena knows that Alaric wants her to use it against Stefan, so she initially refuses, but Alaric sternly argues that vampires always do as they please. Evil is in their nature. In the end, Elena keeps the vervain grenade. A new semester begins, and the three best friends return to school. But Elena is feeling down. The first day of school marks her and Stefan's one-year anniversary. Stefan also returns to campus. His task is to keep a close watch on Elena. Alaric comes to intervene, but Stefan threatens him to stay out of it. Evil Stefan is already troubling enough for Elena, but to her surprise, Rebecca also shows up at school to stir things up. Rebecca isn't here to watch over Elena. She's just here for fun. Cheerleading has always been Caroline's domain, but Rebecca ends up stealing the spotlight. Since Tyler transformed into a hybrid, he's become flamboyant and reckless, openly bringing blood bags to school and using compulsion on his coach when he doesn't want to train. Even Caroline can't stand it anymore. Stefan sticks to Elena like glue, which she finds extremely annoying. Unfortunately, Elena bumps into someone, and Stefan, without distinguishing right from wrong, immediately attacks. Evil Stefan is quickly draining all the affection Elena had for him, so she doesn't want to drag this out any longer. She starts gathering allies to subdue and imprison Stefan at tonight's bonfire, but Tyler refuses to agree.
Trust me, Tyler, it's in his best interest.
Yeah.
It's not in Klaus's.
Damon senses something's up, so he injects Tyler with a dose of vervain while he's off guard. Everyone is confused, so Damon reveals the reason Tyler has sworn allegiance to Klaus. This situation is rare among vampires but is quite common in hybrids. To prepare for tonight's mission, Elena starts working on her strength. Seeing how determined Elena is, Damon teaches her how to pierce a vampire's heart, a technique even a girl with little strength can easily master.
Right here, just below the rib cage. Next to the spine. No one's gonna hurt you. Especially not my brother.
Ever since Matt nearly died, he's been able to see his sister Vicky's ghost. Vicky can only appear when Matt thinks of her. She can't stay in the mortal world permanently, so she constantly urges her brother to help her complete a blood sacrifice ritual. At that moment, Jeremy happens to pass by, but he seems unable to see Vicky's ghost, leaving Matt and Vicky puzzled. In reality, Jeremy is intentionally pretending not to see her, and he even eavesdrops on the conversation between the siblings. Vicky claims she has a witch helper in the spirit world who can use magic to allow Vicky to stay in the mortal world permanently. When Anna learns of this, she's deeply concerned. This could break the boundary between the human world and the spirit world. Matt is torn, but Vicky's tear softens his heart. So Matt uses the blood sacrifice to bring his sister back from the spirit world. Although Vicky is still a ghost, she is no longer confined to Matt's side and can now interact with everything in the mortal world. Describing her as an invisible person would be more accurate. Vicky immediately reveals the truth. It turns out she made a pact with the witch in the spirit world. Her mission is to eliminate Elena so that Klaus can't create hybrids. Matt tries to stop Vicky, but she knocks him out with a heavy blow. At the school bonfire, Elena suddenly changes her attitude towards Stefan. They drink from a distance, and she plans to capture Stefan tonight. Damon is tasked with distracting Rebecca. Damon is indeed skilled at flirting, but Rebecca is a 1,000-year-old vampire who easily sees through his little tricks.
You're distracting me. Why?
Just trying to be a good housemate.
There's never a fair fight between us, Damon.
Rebecca's instincts are always sharp, and Damon's charm strategy fails. Meanwhile, Elena lures Stefan to a high platform, pretending to be drunk and causing trouble. Stefan acts like a carefree bad boy. As Elena falls, Stefan catches her without a second thought. Even though Klaus ordered him to protect Elena, the fall wasn't high enough to be fatal. Stefan was very confused. He had obviously turned off his humanity, but he still couldn't let go of Elena. At this moment, Alaric attacks from behind, and Stefan is incapacitated by vervain. When Elena prepares to drive Stefan away, the car suddenly catches fire. This is Vicky's doing. She's trying to burn Elena alive. Meanwhile, Matt, having woken up, seeks out the witch Bonnie. Bonnie needs to use Matt's blood to cast a spell that will send Vicky back to the spirit world. As Elena is about to lose consciousness, a severely weakened Stefan uses the last of his strength to kick open the car door. At the same time, Vicky strikes again, grabbing Elena's legs tightly. Simultaneously, Bonnie chants a spell, and Vicky is suddenly transported back to Matt's side. Now it's up to Matt to make a choice. Let his sister continue causing chaos in the mortal world or banish her back to the spirit world. Matt once missed his sister dearly, but now he must send her back to the land of the dead. Elena and Stefan were thus able to escape safely. Meanwhile, Catherine tries to use human blood to wake up the ultimate vampire hunter, Michael. Unexpectedly, He angrily scolded Catherine and told her to take the human blood away. Michael demands that Catherine help him break his chains, promising that he will take down Klaus. Catherine hesitates, but seeing how frail the old man appears, Catherine thinks he's no real threat to her, so she bends down and unlocks Michael's chains.
Just saying.
I don't feed on living things.
Then what do you eat?
A vampire who feeds on other vampires. No wonder Klaus is terrified of him. Although Elena narrowly escaped, tonight's hunting plan failed. Afterward, Stefan asks Elena, "You could have let me die in the fire tonight."
Because I still have hope.
After everything I've done, you still think I'll be able to find my humanity again?
Elena tries once again to reach Stefan with words, but Stefan has turned off his humanity. He mocks Elena, saying, "Do you know how pathetic you are? Like a shameless, groveling dog." An angry Elena stabbed Stefan with a sleeve arrow. Since Bonnie cast the spell to send Vicky back to the spirit world, Anna is shocked to find that she can actually touch Jeremy now, indicating that something has gone wrong. Meanwhile, as Damon is cleaning the blood-stained carpet, bottles and jars start flying around the room. He thinks it's Stefan throwing a tantrum, but he's blindsided by an attack from behind. To be precise, it's not a person but Mason's ghost. The boundary between the human world and the spirit world has been broken. When Damon wakes up, he finds himself bound in chains with an iron rod impaled through his chest. This scene feels oddly familiar. Damon had once done the same to Mason. Since Damon can't see Mason's ghost, he assumes his brother Stefan did it, but Stefan ignores him. After Stefan leaves, Mason continues to torment Damon, forcing him to bathe in sunlight. Damon's entire face gets burned, much to Mason's satisfaction. After freeing himself, Damon immediately seeks out the witch Bonnie. He's realized that Mason's ghost is causing the chaos, but ghosts are invisible, untouchable, and impossible to get rid of. Bonnie also realizes the problem. Ghosts were originally unable to touch anything in the mortal world. They were like air, but now, things have changed.
Whatever you screwed up, fix it.
Damon is genuinely scared. He's killed too many people, and just dealing with Mason alone is already giving him a massive headache. As Bonnie was feeling troubled, the magic book she carried suddenly opened on its own, revealing a spell that could make ghosts visible. Meanwhile, Elena has an idea. Since Jeremy can see ghosts, she wants her brother to summon Lexi's ghost. Maybe Lexi can save evil Stefan, but the reason Jeremy could see his ex-girlfriend Anna was because they were emotionally connected. Anna explains to Jeremy that the spirit world is also known as the other side, a place outside of the three realms. Not all ghosts can enter the spirit world. Some have found peace. Bonnie takes Caroline to the witch's ancestral home. Caroline is terrified because hundreds of witches were burned to death here in the past. Bonnie assures Caroline that since she forced Jeremy back to life, the spirits of the witches have abandoned her.
Hey, pinky swear?
Once everything is prepared, Bonnie begins to cast the revelation spell. Meanwhile, Jeremy sneaks off to the bathroom to get intimate with Anna. Bonnie has no idea that the boyfriend she risked her life to save has betrayed her. As Elena goes to look for Jeremy, Damon confronts Alaric. Alaric bluntly tells him,
Alright, we're not friends, I don't like you anymore. But remember back when you liked me and we conspired to kill Uncle Werewolf Mason Lockwood? Yeah, and?
Mason's death involved Alaric too, but Mason is focusing his revenge solely on Damon, which really angers him. At first, Alaric doesn't believe Damon, until Mason suddenly appears and even snatches Damon's drink.
Told you.
It turns out that Bonnie's spell worked. Every ghost has become visible. Bonnie then realizes that her grandmother has been by her side all along. The spirits of the other witches abandoned her, but her grandmother did not. It was her grandmother who guided Bonnie to the revelation spell. Sheila tells Bonnie, "You've caused a disaster." It turns out the ancestral witch has been using Bonnie all along. When Bonnie banished Vicky's ghost, the ancestral witch took the opportunity to open the door to the spirit world, allowing all the ghosts with unfinished business to return to the mortal world.
Which one?
That's original vampire business, not yours. I don't want you getting in the middle of that.
Sheila doesn't want Bonnie to get further involved in vampire troubles. She's here to guide Bonnie in closing the door to the spirit world. Meanwhile, Elena bumps into Jeremy and Anna, who are having an affair. Anna is surprised to see that she can see her. Meanwhile, Lexi's ghost found Stefan. Though Stefan has become a bad boy, he's still terrified of Lexi. Closing the ghost door requires the ancestral witch's necklace. While Bonnie and her grandmother were catching up, Caroline explained everything to Elena, but But the necklace isn't with Elena. Damon left it in the mansion. Elena scolds Anna, telling her to stop clinging to Jeremy, saying, "There's no future for you. The living and the dead can't be together." Anna had no choice but to go away. Elena is about to go find the necklace when she runs into Lexi, who wants Elena to help her with Stefan's rehabilitation. Elena decided after some thought that she would save Stefan with Lexi first. Damon could do nothing about Mason, but that didn't stop him from being sarcastic.
I killed you. You want revenge?
Actually, I want an apology.
It turns out that Mason is not here for revenge. He wants to help his nephew Tyler get out of Klaus's control. Damon quips, "Looks like you're in for another round of dying." Mason knows of a weapon that can kill Klaus, but his condition is that Damon must apologize first.
You're right. I didn't have to kill you. I do a lot of things I don't have to do.
Just then, Elena gets word that Caroline and Bonnie couldn't find the necklace. To their surprise, Elena changes her tune, saying they should hold off on banishing the ghosts because she needs Lexi to fix Stefan. Meanwhile, Mason leads Damon to his family's ancestral cellar, where a sealed-off tunnel lies, containing an ancient legend, a legend about a weapon that can kill the original vampire. Damon starts to believe Mason, but when he ventures deeper into the tunnel, he's suddenly impaled by several wooden stakes, and Mason is nowhere to be found. Could this be Mason's trap? Was the so-called ultimate weapon just a lie? Lexi's methods of rehabilitating Stefan are brutal and bloody, and Elena can't take it, fleeing the scene, leaving Lexi exasperated. Meanwhile, chaos erupts in town as the ghost door opens. Led by Frederick, a vengeful army of vampires returns, ready to bathe Mystic Falls in blood.